You never know until you're live. Greetings, humans, greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods. Holy cow, people, it is, oh, I gotta get off the browser. It is a full plate, people, for the upcoming week, the Thanksgiving, they don't even call it weekend, do they? Thanksgiving week out there for all you gluttons out there. Well, Bear can't complain. Bear is gluttonous himself here today. Oh man, he's got a full belly, the Bolt's got a W. Bear is happy and content. If you're ever worried that you're out in the woods and you see a bear, just make sure that he is full and his sports team has won. You should be okay. You should be fine. He's very lethargic, ready to go to bed and all that sort of stuff. So, anyways, good night, people. Good night. Beep. No, I'm just kidding, everyone. Just kidding, everyone out there. Bear had a delicious meal out there. It was actually lamb chops. Delicious lamb chops. Bear almost had another channel. It was the tech channel at first. Bear almost did a cooking, a sort of cooking channel out there for you good people. I was going to call it Bear Grills. Unfortunately, somebody already had that name. Gosh darn it. So, no bear grilling for you people, unfortunately. Was going to enjoy that. Cooking salmon, cooking steaks. The lamb, too. Excellent stuff. Don't know why I'm starting off with food for you good people, but it was delicious. It was very delicious. All right, well, I hope everyone is having a great weekend out there. Bear's doing well himself, but, there's one group of folks that isn't doing that well at all, and that would be our good folks out here at the U.S. Postal Service. The Postal Service, it's lost a record $6.5 billion in 2023. I mean, Bear's taken a couple of packages, but hadn't been that many, for crying out loud. Oy. The Postal Service has posted a $6.5 billion net loss for the fiscal year of 2023. The operating revenue falling by $321 million. There is El Trumpo. The Postal Service is a joke. It is a joke, people. Actually, you know what? Bear actually... do I have the package? No, I must have tossed it away. I got the stuff in from Elliot Fernandez the other day, and came in really quickly. Within a week, insured and all that good stuff. So came in... Well, it was supposed to come into Little Timmy, but Bear got his claws on it. There was some good stuff out there. Good stuff. Did the... Blazing Saddles. It was a Blazing Saddles piece, original art. So, interesting stuff. So they do pretty good on First Class and all that other stuff. But the U.S. Postal Service on Tuesday reported a $6.5 billion net loss. We already said that. And the operating revenue fell down to $78.2 billion for Postal Service. The federal entity pointed to $2.6 billion in inflation cost. Of course, shrinkflation, inflation, whatever the cause is for the day. And decrease in mail volume for the significant losses. What the good folks here, the good folks here at Fox Business and Michael Dorgan don't say is, there was inflation costs. It brought up the price of paper, which meant you didn't get as much junk mail as you normally do. So the junk mailers actually pay for quite a bit of the Postal Service there. And they didn't pay as much this year, so they lost quite a bit. Operating expenses were $85 billion. Holy cow. The USPS has hoped to break even in 2023 as part of a 10-year, not even Stalin-esque 5 years. They needed the entire 10-year, a whole decade to restructure, known as the Delivering for America plan. Coming up with the name of that cost $3.5 billion. That was announced in 2021 and aims to eliminate $160 billion in predicted losses. Well, they didn't predict it very well. However, that plan was taking an early hit with the news of the 2023 losses. The results come in after the post office posted a net income of $56 billion last year, which they completely lost this year, bailing out the pension plan for all the postal workers out there. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy said agency officials were not happy about the results. I'm sure. Seppuku all around. The results, but added that the federal entity is in the early stages of one of the nation's largest organizational transformations. He said the restructuring is already providing a more consistent, reliable, and timely delivery to American businesses. What? No way. That ain't true at all. Bear used to he could reliably set his knot clock on his wrist here. It used to come in the morning, maybe mid-afternoon. We're like, okay, the mail will be there by lunch at least. Like now, you're lucky it's like 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And then they got two different people. One's delivering the packages, the other's delivering just the mail. We got the people that just like shove it right into the freaking mailbox. Let me stuff as much as I can in there with my fist. Listen, Bear doesn't mind if the postman takes it out on the postages. Just don't go into the place and just start shooting it up all of a sudden. Going postal, as they would say. We are also addressing near-term financial headwinds relative to inflation. Thanks, Brandon. As we make strong progress in our long-term cost-cutting and revenue-generating strategies, said this bald guy. The whole organization is highly focused on implementing the delivery of For America plan and creating a more effective, efficient, and competitive post office to serve the nation far into the future. Literally nobody believes that. Nobody at all. So anyways, there you are. Post office losing $6.5 billion in a year, people. That's quite a lot of money. That is a lot of junk mail that is lost and or lost packages that were going to a certain Timmy McTimerson that just never made it. Somehow, some way. And probably a little bit of medical cost associated with that. Medical and also, what am I trying to say here? Therapy. You have to have the therapy for the poor postman that comes across the wild animals out there. And I get scared away. They really need a lot of treatment after that. Good to see Arlene here. Good to see Arlene. Hope you're having an excellent weekend. Beer was saying, he's got a full belly. His hockey team won. He is just in bliss right now. In bliss. Yes, indeed. So there we are. Good to see Arlene here. If they would stop gouging their customers, Arlene says, we would use alternative sources. Services. Yeah, I tell you, they keep saying, it is the forever stamp. And then you put the stamp on there. It's like, nope, it went up. It went up 5 cents. And you're like, gosh darn it. Gosh dang it. I just got the stamps and now they go up 5 cents. What the heck, man? What the heck? Anyways, I guess they gotta pay for all those electric vehicles that are gonna be roaming the streets. Although, Bear is a more rural area, so it's it's a wide variety of vehicles. They don't really even have like the normal postal vehicles. It's like personal cars, although it's not personal because the driving wheel is on the other side, like they're driving in Europe or Asia or something like that. So it's not quite a personal vehicle, but anyways, not your mailbox delivery trucks out there. So I don't know. Bear takes a slight, maybe the $0.5 billion off of chasing postmen away. Chasing postmen away out there. Anyways, there is that. There is one long article here. Actually, Bear could very well talk about how bad the Marvels is doing. What's the other one? The Hunger Games movie. What the heck was it called? Something with the... It was with the Snow White lady. Let me look this up. What was the name of it? Something fire and something or another. What the heck was this called? Songbirds and Snakes. The Hunger Games... Songbirds and Snakes. Interesting. Anyways, Bear could talk about that. What? Why? Really, why? I mean, honestly, same thing with the Marvels. Just very quickly. Let's see, what was it here? I'm trying to find it here. Gosh darn it, they don't have it listed very well. I think it was, let me scroll all the way back up here. $44 million, so not even really that better than, gosh darn it. Dang it, Bear. Thing with the thing! Anyways, we will get back to this. $44 million for the new Hunger Games movie. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't know if there's anything new about that. Second place, Trolls Band Together. And then bringing up the rear at third place would be The Marvels with $2.8 million on Friday and a weekend forecast of a little less than $10 million. Negative 79%. What a drop, people. I mean, you thought the first weekend was bad. Holy cow, it is terrible. Terrible out here. Let's see. Arlene says, I ship a lot of packages and they are constantly adjusting the cost after the fact. And I have to appeal and fight to get my money back. Oh, those are crooks. How dare they? How dare they? Bear was listening in on one of the Michael Bancroft. He's listening in on the Michael Bancroft episode. He's kind of lamenting. He lives down in... the what I guess you would call it, the underworld there. He lives in Australia. Crikey. He was talking about how much it costs to ship packages all the way there. Apparently quite a bit. And Bear would assume out as well. So if you're there in Australia trying to get your comic going and trying to ship to the U.S. or Europe or something like that, holy moly, that is quite a bill. Quite a bill. Let's see. Arlene says, would Hollywood collapsing be a bad thing? Honest question because I am clueless. Let's try and break it up just a little bit. So when people talk about Hollywood, Hollywood isn't like, it's not a city. It's not like, it's not Broadway where you could actually go to New York City and it's actually on Broadway. It's not a physical location. A lot of people think, Hollywood will go bankrupt and they'll just move to somewhere else. I think what people would want, and we'll get it. This is a very long article here about Justine Bateman. She's talking about the just completed SAG-AFTRA. That's the actor strike, and she's warning. She's actually predicting out there about the AI. They think that they squashed that in the bug, and she's going to say, no, you completely screwed the pooch on this one. So we'll get to that in just a second. Her blame in there would be blaming mainly the studios. I believe she is now a producer. She was on a show, way back when with Michael J. Fox, I think. And gosh, what's her brother's name? He was in the Arrested Development thing. Anyways, a longtime actress. I want to say long time. A veteran actress out here. She would probably put it on a lot of the studios and everything. A lot of probably your YouTuber out there, your normal folks out there, they would probably blame, something like a Rachel Ziegler or a Brie Larson or, and I don't want to pick on Brie Larson, but, some of your actors, actresses out there that are very woke and are very pushing an agenda. Yeah, we want to get rid of them. Yeah, okay, all right. And then you've got a lot of people. Bear was talking about this last time. You've got a lot of people. Bear's not in that concept. Family Matters? Was it Family Matters? Really? Okay. I don't think so. Oh, yeah. I was thinking of the Urkel one. Okay, I think it was Family Matters. Yeah. It's been a while. Michael J. Fox. It'd be interesting if Michael Jackson was in there. Anyways, Bear last time, he was talking a little bit about, we come in here and we talk about some of this stuff, and it usually falls in one of two categories a lot of times. Hey, I like my favorite, whatever, Star Wars. I want Star Wars to continue, la, 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 la. And you got the people on the other side where it's like, okay, Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, Star Wars, it's all went woke. We need to get rid of it all and everything. Bear kind of comes in a little bit. Yeah, Family Ties. There we go. Yeah, Family Matters was Urkel, right? Family Matters was Urkel. I was like, wait a minute. No, it can't be that one. Maybe she wasn't there. Yeah, Family Ties. I think that's the one there. It's been a minute. Been a minute for Bear. All right, where was he? Anyways, Bear kind of comes down in the middle where kind of like any sort of organization or corporation out there, you've got people at the very top who might be screwing up and not doing well for their workers. But you got, of course, you got your middle management area there. And then below there, you've actually got your just general workers, general folks out there. They're just doing the 9 to 5 or even longer type job. That if you get rid of, if you just say, die mouse die, die Hollywood die, you've got a lot of people. And I think she gets into it a little bit here with what she's talking about. But, drivers, makeup people, hair, sound design, set design, concept art. You can go down. I mean, just watch any movie after the, actors are listed and, all the directors and all that people, the 4 or 5 minutes after that, those are all the people that are working on the film, and not all of them, pardon me here, not all of them are working, or not all of them are woke. So if you try to throw out the baby with the bathwater, as they say, you're throwing out a lot of good people that would be, I would put Justine Bateman in the, she's probably a liberal. Yeah, she probably voted for, much like Bear voted for Biden out there multiple times. But is probably convincible. Isn't drinking the Kool-Aid out there where she's went way off the deep end and everything is, intersectional this and, white privilege that, yada. You've all heard this. I think there's a group of people that in Hollywood that is convincible if you give them a good enough argument, number one, and you don't label everybody with a broad brush, and you're able to say, oh, okay, somebody like, James Gunn, bad, boo, Bear's opinion, boo. But, you get other people out there, I don't know, I'm just making an example. Quentin Tarantino, hey, he's doing really, he right on. We might not agree on everything, but he gets it. People like that get it. They might have to kind of hide within the system just to be able to work, keep their head down and all that sort of stuff. But that is a very, very long answer to Arlene's question here. We're going to get into it in just a minute here. But kind of like what Bear was saying the last time. Would Disney collapsing be a good thing? Well, we don't want Disney to, do all the weird transgender stuff on the kids and everything, but the back catalog of all their, the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and all that sort of stuff, the original Mickey Mouse and all that, all good stuff, all wholesome entertainment. Yes, bring your kids to all that good stuff. So the hard part is, how do you divide that out? How do you get rid of the bad elements but keep the good elements? How do you separate the wheat from the chaff? Bear's quick and easy answer for you, Arlene, is no, we don't want to collapse Hollywood. The best way to do it would be to go through trust busting. So, for example, just as an example here, separate Disney from Marvel, separate Disney from Star Wars. Heck, separate Disney from Fox. That should have never happened. Separate that stuff out. The Supreme Court ruled against what was called the Paramount Decrees. Long story short, essentially, movies back in the day in the 40s and 50s, if Warner Brothers had a movie, they were showing it in a Warner Brothers theater. They says, no, we need to get rid of that. Warner Brothers can put out a movie, but it needs to be shown in an independent theater. We've gotten away with that. That law has been reversed. And also we've got streaming. So now Warner Brothers has their own streaming service, so they can do whatever the heck they want. Bear would maybe suggest separating some of that stuff out a little bit. I think letting little companies on their own survive or die is a whole lot better than trying to collapse the entire system. I think that's kind of a very long answer to it. But we'll get into what Justine Bateman has to say here. Let me grab a drink. Arlene says, but it was a good answer. Thank you. I never thought about all the hard-working background people. Yeah. Go watch your favorite movie. Get to the very end. Get past all of the actors and directors and all that sort of stuff and just watch for the next couple, 3-4 minutes. Although Marvel movie, it might be 20 minutes. Of all the people that work on there. Most of those are just kind of, they're union people most of the time. But hardworking people, most of the time, hardworking people out there that would probably agree with you and I 60-70% of the time as compared to 0%. So, really trying to separate that out. That's why Bear kind of took some time the last time, and taking a little bit of time this time, where it's, hey, we're talking about, we're talking about the Marvels. I don't want to see the MCU just flame out. If you want to make a movie about empowered women for, young girls out there to go see and check out, hey, terrific, that's fine. But don't say, hey, my movie did really bad, the director said. My movie did really bad because of, what was it? Sexist, virulent, violent, homophobic, I don't know, Islamophobic, I don't know. She went down the list of all that stuff. It's like, no, you just made a bad movie, period. Cut and dry. Anyways, let's get into this. Deadline, Katie Camperone. I'm only going to read part of it. It is a very, 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 very long article. It's a interview of Justine Bateman here, but she actually has some really good stuff to say here. So you wouldn't think, oh, okay, going in, actress X, might have an opinion on what's going on in Hollywood, because you generally think of actresses out there as, moderately competent out there. If you get the moderately competent, you're doing a good day out there. But no, there's actually some really smart people out here. So we're going to go ahead and get right on into it here. She says, and this is Deadline, and pardon me one second here, Katie Camperone is asking the questions. So they are talking about what just happened, just transpired. I think that they've already voted for it. I could be wrong. I don't know exactly the date that they did this in, but we'll go through it here. Let's see. Arlene says, they make a movie with a specific target audience. They shouldn't expect all people to want to watch it. Actually, it was pretty interesting. There was an interesting stat that came out with the Marvels where there were more women, I believe in the first day, it might have been the first weekend. I forget the exact quotation there, but there were more women that went to go see the final Rambo movie than went to go see the Marvels movie. I think on the first weekend, if Beer's not mistaken. So you had a movie that definitely was not marketed towards women. If you've seen the movie, but you probably had a group, wives, girlfriends, that sort of deal, kind of going with fellas out there to go see the movie. You had more men go see the Marvels, probably because it was a comic book movie, but you had more men go see it the first weekend. Go figure. Go figure out there. Sorry, Beer is burping. Had a delicious meal out here. All right. Let's see. Deadline starts out. Have you read the actual, I forget what MBA stands for, or just the summary that the SAG, the Actors Union, has put out publicly? She says, I've read the AI portion of it. So she's focused like a laser on the AI stuff, and she's been talking about it for quite a while. So she's coming in just commenting on the AI. And we'll get into what that means in here in just a second. She said, but I didn't... oh, shoot. Continuity camera... Oh, shoot. Oh, 1 second, people. Talk amongst yourselves. Trying to run down Bear's phone battery for crying out loud. All right, there we go. There's that. All right, we are back. There we go. Anyways, let's see. She says, I have read the AI portion of it, but she didn't really need to point out what she's already pointed out. The summary is fairly detailed. You can go off on some of the things that have been said by, I believe this person, I believe it's a she. I could be wrong here. She was one of the negotiators. Of the things that's been said by Duncan in interviews. I mean, the information is available. Deadline says, sure, but I've seen some chatter among members wishing they could read the actual agreement before they vote on the ratification, much like our Congress. I mentioned to Duncan that might be a good idea. It should be an excellent idea. He said it won't be ready in time. Won't. But I said that one portion you could probably make available. It's very concerning for people. She's talking about AI. Because it's the first time that they've had to deal with those kinds of permissions and allowances. Everything else, like rate changes, they're areas that they or their representatives are familiar with. So, okay, the residuals go up by 2% or something like that. That's something that, maybe not an actor can figure out, but, the representation. Oh, okay, I'm getting this much. The agents are getting this much. Okay, we got that figured out. She's talking about AI here. But this is an area that is very new for everybody and is an existential area on top of that. So anyways, they'll do what they're going to do, but it might be helpful for them because they want to know, and they can take it to their lawyers instead of the union having to answer all the questions one by themselves. So they're going into figuring out, okay, what we're doing with AI in movies. Can you have what they call digital actors out there? Do you think this AI issue is going to make or break the ratification vote? And again, I'm not sure if they've already voted on this or not. Bear needs to look. But she's commenting that, hey, we need to take another look at this, especially when people aren't reading it or can't read it. Hey, we need to check out this AI section that you guys negotiated on because there might be some things that are in there that might not be what we would consider a good deal. She says, I don't know if it's going to be ratified or not. My focus for the last 9 months has just been to tell people what's coming. That's all. I'm not for advocating for people to vote one way or another. I think it's just inhuman and cruel not to tell people what they're walking into, to not tell people what the loopholes are. If you've been in the business long enough, we'll be exploited. So we can kind of see where she's coming from here. Although she's not without merit. Bear would say probably one of the most exploitative industries out there is Hollywood. So it's really interesting to see a lot of these actors and actresses talk about, fair pay and equality and all this other stuff where it's like, there's a lot of stuff going on within your own system, within your own house that you guys should deal with before you even make one comment on, public policy or anything like that. Let's see. At some point, they absolutely will be exploited if they have to live with that fallout. And they will have to live with that fallout. So understanding what that fallout is and then deciding for yourself. These are intelligent adults, most of them. These are intelligent adults, most of them. I mean, most of them are adults. I know what you meant there, Justine. I know what you meant there. Most of them are adults. Some of them are kids. But these are intelligent people, question mark? Members of the Screen Actors Guild. And they can make up their own mind. I don't have to tell them. I'm just the mailman. Careful, they're losing money. I didn't write the letter. I'm just saying, here's what's in the letter, and here's what can be done with what's in that letter. That doesn't sound like a postman at all. He's going through your mail. She's going through your mail. That's all. If they want to be mad at somebody, they can be mad at the union. They can be mad at the people who insisted or negotiated these terms, which is the replacement of human actors with something that looks human. I think we talked a little bit the last couple shows ago. There was a sort of OnlyFans type website out there that was using models, nude models out there that were all AI. Some of them were clearing like $10K a day or something like that, and it's like it's not even a real person. It's a fake lady out there. So. It's already coming. Let's see. Arlene says she's being really careful with her word. That's fine. Part of that AI deal is with the actor's voice and likeness can be used by AI without compensating the actor. Well, she will get into it. We'll let her speak for herself here. Deadline says, I want to get your take on the expectations to consent laid out in the summary, which seem pretty wide-ranging, specifically post-production alterations. She says, well, I don't know if there's an exemption for post-production. I mean, there's an exemption if it's very similar to what's already scripted, which can be wildly interpreted, depending on someone's opinion of what type of character the actor is playing. But the biggest issue is synthetic performers, which I just call human-looking AI objects, because they're not performers. Having that in there would be like if the Teamsters said it was okay to use self-driving trucks instead of them. There you go. Or it would be like the Directors Guild out there not having the definition of a director or any of the other positions being human. That you could have a director that's just a generative AI base. Interesting. It would be like the Writers Guild out there saying it's okay if GPT, I keep getting that screwed up, authors full scripts, which we've talked about this before. That's probably many years away, if at all. They're good at parroting. They're good at repeating stuff, but not necessarily what we would call kind of the heart or the emotion of the story. They can make character mothers dies right before his eyes or something. And the AI can say, oh, well, that is sad for a human being. But, what level of sadness? Was it his dearly beloved mother, or was it a mother that was really mean and, gave him away to, to be adopted or something like that, or beat the child or something? There's differences there. So I don't know if Chat GPT is up to the task there. That's what it is, and I've maintained from the very beginning, says Justine. When I started talking to the actors about what would happen, that's the key to the front door. You can do all the renovations in the house. You can get all these other gains in the contract, but if you don't get that, if you don't get control of what they can do without you based on 100 years of performances, you can put in a prompt and you get out this Frankenstein amalgamization of performances. Try saying that 3 times fast. I said that if you don't get there, you've given them the front keys to the house. Because it's not just the actors. It's, here we go, the crew. It's the drivers. It's everybody. If you don't have to shoot an actor, well, you'd never want to shoot an actor. I think she means if you want to film an actor, you don't need a set, you don't need a crew, and you don't need drivers. So once again, what we were kind of talking about there, all the people behind the scenes. So if the actor doesn't show up on set and is replaced by a digital version of them, well, the actor may still get paid there, depending on what their contract is, but you're losing out on your crew. You're losing out on the drivers, for example. And of course, all of your corporations are just driving to the very, very bottom there. I mean, they would love to cut everybody out. Just release the same movie and over every year. So yeah, they would love that very much. And if they can get that through the actors, and not necessarily, so they have to go to the Teamsters union that she's talking about. They have to go through there and talk to the drivers and say, okay, no AI vehicles out there that the Teamsters can drive. It's got to be a union guy, union lady in there that drives it. Okay, they can make that contract, but if they make a separate contract with the actors and the actors give away their AI licenses so they don't have to be there on set, okay, you don't need the set, you don't need the crew, you don't need, as she says, the driver or everybody else. So that's something to kind of consider there. Unless you just want to crash the entire system, which, there you go. It seems like monetary damage, this is kind of interesting, is going to be the members' sole recourse in most cases of a violation of the AI portion of the MBA. Are you worried about that, considering the studios have never seemed to be deterred by any sort of fines in the past? She says, well, this is true of all large corporations. Fine payments don't seem to deter them a lot. Once again, I bang this drum here. We need a little bit of trust busting out here. A little bit of trust. Trust busting. You broke our trust. We're breaking yours out there. So there you go. Very, very smart. So do you think there should be another actionable way for actors to be able to fight any violations? She says the weird thing about this negotiations, the AI section of it is like negotiating with cannibals. Interesting. You shouldn't be talking about cutting off your feet at all, but the conversation becomes just, how are we going to remove your feet? And will we be grilling them or boiling them? Boiled feet. And what kind of sauce are we going to put on them? So I'm not the one to talk to you about the best way to compensate someone if they see their digital double in something. I'm not an actor anymore. I think she's a producer, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, if I was, I would say I'm going to be scan-free. I don't know. That's just me personally. I mean, as a filmmaker, there we go, filmmaker. I never use generative AI. I'm going to use humans. It's been done for 100 years, and it's good enough. Good enough for her. She does have a way with words. If we can at least agree on 60 to 70%, I think we've gotten to the point where somebody can be convinced of, you know, giving up a lot of the sacred stuff that they might have as far as, you know, bad people on the other side. If you could at least offer them a little bit of a fig leaf out here, you know, hey, smack away the fig leaf, that's fine. At least we offered it out here. So that's why Bear is a little bit kind of, you know, against some of the YouTube channels out there that just make content that's just like, okay, this is bad. Here's 5 videos on why this Marvels is bad and why Brie Larson has a fat butt. Flat butt, not a fat one. I mean, you want to do it once or twice or something like that, you get it off your chest. That's fine. Doing it over and over and over and over and over again, you're already building into the system. We need to change it, not reinforce it. So there you go. As you talk about this online, asked Deadline, what are the responses you're getting from members? She says many people are just really grateful to have it explained to them in plain language. I'm glad to have this combination of expertise. She's got a computer science degree. And also, years ago, I was on the board and was on the SAG negotiating team, the Actors Guild. I was also a writer and producer and director. So she's been through, she's been around. I've been combing through contracts for over 40 years, and it's really great combination of assets to have at this moment in time. I'm just letting them all know what these terms mean, and I said before the agreements all came out, I'm still saying the same thing. I don't need to look at. I didn't need to look at the SAG negotiations. Sorry, little weird sentences there. The SAG negotiations didn't even need to start for me to know what the studios wanted to do with the actors. I think because the bottom line is this is fueled by abject greed. Now, again, we can kind of see where she's coming from, but hey, it's fine. And when studios and streaming CEOs are looking at an opportunity to reduce the overhead of our human labor to such an extent that they're paying a fraction of the cost to make these films, and could possibly make the same amount in the box office, to imagine that they're not going to try for that is very naive to go for that. You all always know people are either already doing or they're going to do by what they asked for in a negotiation. Let me grab a drink. And now we see it, things that I've said way back before the negotiations even started. Bear. I tell you, Bear has a way with words as well. Not a good way, but he has a way with it. So what is the solution, asked Deadline. She says, well, in order to keep the profession alive at all, that synthetic performance stuff needs to come out. I told you the equivalents of the other unions. The SAG represents human performers, and when you have a clause in the NBA that allows for something else to take those parts, I'm not sure. I mean, it's supposed to be of the service of the members that are in the union. Synthetic AI objects are not in the Screen Actors Guild. There's also going to be big financial ramifications for the union itself when they use those objects. That's an object. That's not a person. Not going to get paid. Not paying union dues. That's the most important part. You're not going to have a pension and health contributions. That's the worst part on behalf of an object. I know it says that. I know it says in there that they're consideration rather, but it doesn't even say financial consideration unless they add that word. So how are you going to force the studios to pay you something? That's the biggest problem. And people say like, oh, that'll never happen. It's like, we're not even talking about Polar Express from like 20 or 30. I think Polar Express, that was the Tom Hanks movie that he was like a motion capture. They still had to capture his motion, but what they're talking about is bringing that further into the future. What was it, 20 years ago? They can go to credo23.com and the AI and film page, and it lists all the things that I believe will happen in the business. There are hyperlinks to all those video demos, and they could just look at that and decide for themselves. I should have looked that up. Credo23. I'm going to have to do that. Earlier this week, Fran Drescher called for those criticizing the contract naysayers and contrarians. Fran Drescher is the union boss, the union head. Let's see. How do you feel about that, considering you've been so outspoken about this? And she says, I just feel what I felt for the last 9 months. I love this business. I love everyone who is called to this business. So again, I mean, she's been in it for a while. I'm trying to remember if it was a family connection. Like there was another Bateman as well that she was a part of. I can't remember right off the top of my head. I think, but you can see where she's coming from. Let's see. It always boils down to the money with the side of control, says Harley. That's true. Follow the money. Follow the money. Anyways, let's see. I think it's important that they have an understanding of what was coming and is here now and will be coming more so in the future. I just think it's important to let people know that they can make up their own minds about whether whatever they want to do, whether it's ratification or whether they want to do professionally in 2 years when this is all, I think what she's trying to say is they're going to have to renegotiate it. I thought it was 3 years, but I could be wrong there. They're going to have to renegotiate the contract again in a couple of years. So I think what she's saying there is if you sneak something in like this, it's going to be hard for it to take it out in the next contract negotiations. Studios will come in and says, hey, you already agreed to this in the previous contract. What's changed in between there? You should be able to agree with it this time. One would think. There are some things that are going to happen to actors that don't have much to do with the NBA. Like the odds of you booking a job. Ted Sarandos, I think, is the Netflix out there CEO. Had a great quote. He's talking about movie releases, and he says, it used to be that your movie would compete with just what was in the theaters at the time, that weekend, that month, whatever. Now you're going to be competing with every film that's ever been released because it's available online. In the same sense, actors used to use auditions against each other, against all the other actors that were in their age, their type, that were available, that weren't busy on another film, etc. It's somewhat of a finite number of people, and it was hard to get a job already. Now what's going to happen to these actors is that they'll be competing against that group and digital doubles of all the actors who are alive, who were busy or not. Maybe it's a role for someone who's 25. Well, Tom Cruise could have a scan of himself and have a version of himself that's 25. So no matter what the age of the actor or who's alive right now, you're competing against them. And you're competing against 100 years worth of actors that their estates or the union gave permission, which is kind of a crazy concept, she says. Anyway, you're competing against all of the dead actors too, and you're competing against an unlimited number of synthetic AI objects. So the percentage of jobs a human is going to have are now going to be much smaller than they were before. Sorry, I was getting a little confused there. Anyways, she goes on. Let's see. Anything else? She's talking about trying to do all this stuff together. So what we were talking about earlier, where the actors might agree to the AI stuff, but it's going to affect, the Teamsters out there, a number of the other unions as well. So she's saying, hey, we should all go into this together. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but very, very interesting. A very long article here. I'll just finish it up here. She says, the shooting schedule now, instead of being 2 months, she's talking about Bradley Cooper trying to come in and do a film, as an example. Instead of it being 2 months, it's only 3 weeks because we don't need to shoot all the stuff that Bradley Cooper is going to be in because he'll be because that'll be done through generative AI. So even with all the protections, and even if there were no loopholes and you took out all the synthetic performers, you're still going to have the issues of, again, the condensed shooting schedules. So that means people that thought that they were going to have, a lot of people think that actors kind of work kind of normal 9-to-5 jobs, or Hollywood people just in general, 9-to-5 jobs. That's not the case at all. Unless you're working on TV, which has its own scenarios. Let's just say you're working on a movie. You're a movie actor, you're a movie Teamster driver, you're movie audio, something like that. You may work really good and really hard for 2 to 3 months. Depends on how long that schedule is and how long you're shooting for and all that sort of stuff. And then you might be off for like 6 months. You're not taking a vacation or anything like that. You might be looking for other work, but you might be off for like 6 or 7 months, and then you might get another 2 or 3 months pay out of it. So your pay out of that 3-4 month period might be really well, but you got to live off of it for maybe the rest of the year. A lot of times you'll see actors take, 2 or 3 roles per year. That's just because they need to keep money in their pocket. So if you shrink that 2, 3, 4 months periods down to like a couple weeks, now look down the line of all those people that are trying to budget out, trying to plan out, their work schedule. It's not like the Teamster driver can have a digital AI version come in and work for him. It's not going to work like that. So, now instead of working for 2 to 3 months, he's only working 2 to 3 weeks. And now you got to make that paychecks stretch even further and even further. So, she may be on to a point here. Where's my mouse? Speaking of points. Anyways, very, very long article. Very, very well. She's very smart, and is very, she's very on point, especially something that hasn't quite happened yet, but she can see coming down the pike. So, anyways, just wanted to bring that to you people. Especially, there's a great question from Arlene very early on about that, and that kind of segued very, very perfectly here. Very perfectly here. So, anyways, deadline at Katie Camperone. Bear could have done any of the other, the Marvel's doing terrible, let's look at the numbers, blah, 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 blah. I think this is a little bit more forward thinking. Bear always says, you don't watch this show. Bear's got one of the smartest audiences out there. You don't watch this show to know what's going on. You watch the show to know what's going to go on. So you people are smarter not only than average bears out there, but most of the average humans as well. So a little bit of a heads up. We'll probably see this later on in Yellow Flash's show, either later tonight or the next couple weeks or something. P-Money is here, finally. I am listening to Bear, but I'm working the hockey game. Congratulations, sir. At my local community tonight, so I won't be speaking much. But I've got you going on in the background. Well, Bear is here in the background. Enjoy. Bear was saying at the very beginning of the show, he's got a full belly, and the Bolt's got a W, so he's on cloud 9 right now. Cloud 9. So good to have P-Money here. Hit that thumbs up button for Bear, for crying out loud. All right. Going from one interesting... we'll actually go from sport to sport here, just for P-Money. From one sport to another, one of the many, many reasons why Bear has stopped watching football, including the kneeling and all that other stuff. From our good folks out here at the New York Post. Clarissa Thompson reveals why she would make up NFL sideline reports. From Ryan Glass-Piegel. We'll go with that. We'll go with Glass-Piegel out here. Let's see. Where was she? I had a picture. There you go. There is, what was her name? Carissa. C-H-R-I-S-A. Not Clarissa. Carissa. Okay. If you ever thought that NFL sideline reports, Mad Libs the coach speak they deliver to viewers at the halftime, Clarissa, whatever the heck, this lady confirmed a whopper of a conspiracy theory. Thompson, a former sideline reporter who is now a host for Fox Sports, grab a drink. One of these days, professional show. Who is now a host for Fox Sports, Fox NFL Kickoff, and Amazon Studio coverage for the highly rated Thursday Night Football, revealed some tricks of the trade on Barstool Sports. Pardon my take. I've said this before, and I've been fired for saying it, so I'll say it again. She was fired for saying it? Oh, okay. I would make up the report sometimes because, A, the coach wouldn't come out at halftime, or, isn't there a B in there? There should be a B. Or it was too late and I didn't want to screw up the report, so I was just like, I'm going to make this up. Because, first of all, no coach is going to get mad if I say, hey, we need to stop hurting ourselves. We need to be better on third down. Pardon my take, co-host Dan Katz chimed in, we need to pressure the quarterback. It's true. Yeah, exactly, she replied. And do a better job of getting off the field. They're not going to correct me on that. I'm like, it's fine. I'll just make up a report. PFT commenter, the other co-host, joked about a more inflammatory fake sideline report. It would be very funny if you were like, I just spoke with Arthur Smith at halftime, and he said Bijan Robinson blew smoke in his face, and that's why he's not getting the ball. Ha ha ha. Yeah, okay. Thompson, 41, who also hosts the Calm Down podcast alongside Fox Sports sideline reporter Aaron Andrews. There you go. In August, the two were discussing the phenomenon of Jumbotron proposals. I don't care about that. Anyways, she made up fake sideline reports for you people. So talk about that. Bear is quick on the draw for old P Money out there. He comes up with something sport related. Bear's like, I got you, pal, right here. And speaking, we'll just go sports on sports on sports. What the heck? Why not? We're just going to do a sports-a-thon here. What the heck? Why not? Also from the New York Post, ultra-marathoner runner banned for a year after using car in a race. From Isabel Keene. Isabel Keene at the New York Post. Oh, let me get rid of Clarissa or whatever the hell her name is. There we go. There's that. There is the runner right there. The fake runner. A leading ultra-marathon runner who used a car during a 50-mile race and then accepted a trophy for third place has been banned from competing for 12 months by a UK athletics disciplinary body. Third place? Wait, so you took the car and you didn't even get first place? Imagine being the first or second place winner there and was like, yeah, not only did I beat that lady, I beat that lady in the car. Ha ha! Josiah Zakarinsky admitted to using a car during the 2023 GB Ultras Manchester to Liverpool race on April 7th, but claims she only did so after telling marshals she was injured and no longer competing. Data from the tracking system of the event revealed that the lady had gotten a lift for about 2.5 miles of the race. Really, that's it? He should have just laid back in style there. The 47-year-old long-distance runner was stripped of her third-place title, even though she insists she informed officials that she had finished the race in a, quote, non-competitive way. Not only did you not win, it was third place, and you still got stripped. The independent disciplinary panel of the UK Athletics disagreed with her portrayal of the situation when deciding to ban her for a year. The claimant had collected the trophy at the end of the race, something which she should not have done, if she was competing in the race on a non-competitive basis, the panel says. She also did not seek to return the trophy in the week following the race. It's mine. I got it. I won it fair and somewhat square. The runner had blamed her misjudgment on accepting the trophy on the fact that she had flown in the night before from Australia and was tired and jet-lagged and felt sick, telling the BBC after the race, I should have handed it back to them and not had the pictures. There's pictures and not had the pictures done, but I was feeling unwell and spaced out and not thinking clearly. Oh, here it is. Here is the, let me get to it. Where is it? Do the thing. Here we go. There is the infamous third place medal. The infamous third place. It's like smaller. Look at that. There's like a big one and like a little one. Oh well. Officials on the athletics panel didn't seem to buy her reasoning, noting in the verdict, even if she was suffering from brain fog on the day of the race, she had a week following the race to realize her actions and return the trophy, which she did not do. How dare they? Finally, she posted about the race on social media, and this did not disclose that she had competed in the race on a non-competitive basis. The lady who was originally from Dumfries, Scotland, now lives in Sydney, Australia. There you are. Taking a car in a foot race. Taking a car in the foot race. It reminds Bear of the Babylon Bee? The Babylon Bee, where it was a motorcyclist self-identifies as a bicycle to win, the Tour de France or something like that. I was like, yeah, right on. Right on. Oh, Arlene, in a callback, says she made up her reports, the Clarissa lady. Made up her reports and probably more sensical than some of the nonsense the players and coaches had to say. True, but don't call yourself a reporter then. Just call yourself a sideline. I don't know. Arlene, can I say a sideline babe? Can we just say that? The sideline babe out there. That's fine. Don't call it. Well, I guess now these days, I guess reporters are pretty low in the ditch there. I mean, like used car salesmen and like congressmen or something like that. So probably people shouldn't take for the word of God from reporters there. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right after all. Maybe you're right. Well, I tell you what, P-Money, you came on the right day because this is not one, not two, but a 3 sports news day for you good people. Has nothing to do with sports, but I thought it was pretty funny. George Foreman's car collection literally has something for everyone, from the Drive and Nico Dementa. Look at there. Let's see. He says, I admit that as a kid, I originally thought George Foreman was just a guy who sold grills on TV, which, by the way, are excellent. Bear is not getting a promotion or anything like this. The George Foreman grill cooks a mean turkey. Oh, man. You haven't had a turkey until you've had a Foreman turkey. His infomercials were near consistent. I wasn't exactly well-versed in the world of heavyweight boxing then, when I was 8. How dare you, sir? So he was just the indoor grill guy to me. Now, more than 20 years later, I've learned of yet another side of George Foreman. He's also a massive car enthusiast and collector, and his 50-plus car collection is being auctioned off by Haggerty's. There you go. So let's check him out. Some cool stuff out. Why is it not showing? Oh, for crying out loud. Dang you, Tim Apple. Hold on one second. Let me see if it will come up. No, of course it doesn't come up. Well, there were some really nice cars there if you were a car person, but you'll just have to use your imagination. Did I just close it? I just closed it. Oh well. Whatever, man. Whatever. All right, let's get us to some campaign news here, people. Some good old campaign news for you good people. All right, let me get to it. There's Uncle E doing an admirable job here week after week. What is he at? 558,200. 286. Oh, Liam, get back down there in Bear's belly. It's so good. So good. Once again, Bear almost made a channel called Bear Grills. Almost. Except for there's somebody else out there that took it. Gosh darn it. Anyhow, got an update. Kind of very quick. Always very brief. The briefest of updates here. From your boy, Zach. He says, hi, everyone. Hi, boy. Kelsey Shannon has just turned in the cover layouts for Iron Sights 3. Thanks, Richard. So there you are. There is the Kelsey Shannon cover for Iron Sights, not 1, not 2, but numero tres, which I think, if Bear remembers correctly, there was like a tie-in. There was tie-in with this and Impossible Stars. So apparently the lady there shooting the gun, I think, has something to do with the Impossible Stars book as well. So if you got both of those, there's like a tie-in there from your boy Zach. And of course, Kelsey Shannon as well. Let's not forget Kelsey. All right, gosh dang it, should Bear do this? Should Bear do it? All right, we're going to try and be as neutral as possible here. Very neutral here. Remember, Bear is trying to be neutral here. Very, very neutral. All right, from Mike S. Miller. He says, check out my fundmycomic.com. Exciting news. You can now find 2 amazing comics by Mike S. Miller. 1 might even surprise you. What? It might surprise Bear? What? No way. So he's got a book called Top Grift. Yay. Okay, Bear, you're being professional here. Mike is a hoot. Yeah. Well, Bear will make a positive. I really loved the MAGA 7 book. That was a really, really funny book. Unfortunately, somebody else is writing this one. All right. Professional Bear, professional show, professional. Neutral here. Looking for a hilarious and engaging read that will keep you on the edge of your seat? Well, look no further than Top Grift, co-created with John Delarose. This book is a must-read for anyone looking to a deep dive, whatever, into the world of the, quote, manosphere. Where is the barosphere? That's what I want to know. I don't care about the manosphere. What is the manosphere? Hold on, let me look this. Let's see. Will I look it up through the email? Do the thing with thing. Look up manosphere. Manosphere. Oh, okay. Websites and blogs where men express opinions about issues concerning contemporary masculinity in male relationships. Oh, thank goodness. With women, especially those associated with views that are hostile to feminism and women's rights. I rarely comment in the manosphere anymore, is the example. Early 21st century, probably a blend of man and blogosphere is the origin of manosphere. Okay, interesting. And the grifters that inhabit it. You don't say. You don't say, John Delarose. With professional show here, Beer. Professional show. With a villain that looks strikingly similar to the infamous Andrew Tate. Oh, that's who that is. Okay. I really have no idea. I mean, I know he's like some sort of like, I don't know, what do we describe it? Kind of a misogynist, what's his name? Peterson? What's his first name there? Jordan Peterson. I suppose. No offense to Mr. Peterson out there, but the only things that Bear sees is he's got like women that are like, on all fours and walking like a dog or something like that, and I just like, okay, that's a little much for Bear. Even for Bear, that's a little much. Now, if you reversed it and put the guy down there below, okay, Bear's right there with you. But all right, professional show here, Bear. Professional show. Let's see. A Top Grift is a scathing critique of the manosphere and all of its associated grifts, following the story of a young man searching for love as he falls prey to the manipulations of the manosphere influencer and the dangerous world of grifting. Will he emerge victorious in his quest for love, or will the grift get the best of him? The only way to find out, read Top Grift today. All 12 covers. Professional show, Beer. Professional show. With its concise and engaged writing style, and compelling storyline, this book is sure to become a fast favorite among readers everywhere. Don't miss out. Grab your copy today. Bear did a very professional job on that one. Left his emotions mostly out of it. Also, still funding, but all done. Well, Mike, you can't say, all but done. All but done. I apologize. Still funding, but all but done. Let me show it here. People know what Bear's talking about. Still funding, but all but done. Yeah. All but Bear's claws. We are incredibly grateful to announce the much anticipated finale of the Lonestar series. I know Mike said that professional show, Bear, professional show, that he was kind of more at the time kind of going towards the sort of Bitcoin NFT side of things, and Monster Hunt. Well, not Monster Hunt. Well, I suppose Lonestar was going to be kind of the swan song as far as Mike's comic relations go. I think there was another one out there, the Bit Boy or the Bit something or another. And then, of course, he had Chad's book as well, but that's a cursed book that's been out there for years. But, Bear was just like, okay, if this is going to be the last Lonestar, and this is going to be the last Mike Miller comic out there, go full as we say, balls to the wall. Just go all out with it. If he's going to continue to do comics like the Top Grift thing, maybe he planned it as a three book series or something like that. I would say keep going with it. There's some great stuff that he could do with Lonestar, especially the early Lonestar, like in World War II and everything. I think that would be a kind of, they just touched on it in book number 2, but that needs a little bit more fleshing out. Maybe he does it in 3. I don't know, but anyways, I sad to see that it's a finale. I wish he would kind of continue on with that. Let's see. Mike was telling that Kickstarter wouldn't allow it. Was it Kickstarter? I'm sorry. Bear needs his glasses. Mike was telling that Kickstarter wouldn't allow that because it was about Tate or something like that. I'll take Mike's word on that, but Mike's been kicked off of Kickstarter once, twice, 3 times, and he couldn't reach a goal for a 4th book there. So, not to jump into professional show, not to jump into the Mike Miller versus John Malin debate there, only to just say, up until probably a couple months ago, Indiegogo has been really well to, we'll just call it the independent comic community. It's been getting rid of shadow banning a lot of the Comicsgate folks out there, even Aaron LOPRESTI, and just silly stuff like that. It's like, why are you doing that? Your boy Zach, he's go find Rambo on there. So I think that his last option was to go to Fund My Comic. It should have been, it should have really been the first option there. Hey everybody, we're gonna go. Listen, it's right here. I can go to it. Where is it? 1 second. Let me find the thing with the thing. Did I minimize it? I got it here. I didn't want to get all into it. Again, I'm not. Listen, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm not a big fan of John Della Rose. Not a big fan of JDA. I know some people are. That's fine. Continue on. Bear's just not going to buy any books from JDA. Feel free. There's no canceling. There's no anything like that. Bear's just staying away. Bear's just staying away from that. So I'm sure it's a fine book. But I've got the whole story right here. I just didn't want to get into it too much. But there's Kickstarter going to JDA. Who's got his own issues out there. Pardon me, still trying to burp. Gosh darn it. Anyway, so they should have figured that beforehand. Talking to somebody named Princess out there. So, anyways, Bear had that story kind of lined up, but didn't want to go right to it. But let me get finished with this, and maybe we can take a look. The epic conclusion featuring an in-depth exploration of the motivations behind. I really tried to get through it without making any mention of JDA. Let's see. A motivation behind our main antagonist, Schvarg, leading up to the final battle between him and Lonestar. The lettering is now complete. Yay! And we are excitingly putting the finishing touches to the design before it's sent off to print. Finally. Hopefully we can get it before the end of the year. We would like to extend our gratitude to all of our supporters. Is the word gratitude? I guess so. We'll go with gratitude. To all of our supporters who have stuck with us through this long journey. There might be a book or two that comes out for Mike before Lonestar. We'll see. It is your support that it's made it possible for us to bring this amazing story to life. It is a good story. I got to admit, Lonestar is a good story. Lonestar 2 was a little bit better than the first one, only because it filled in a lot of the blanks. Lonestar 1 just, like, right off the gate, just went out with it. It needed a little bit more kind of backstory. You didn't actually get it unless you got some of the, let's see, Bear got the middle print there, which actually showed Lonestar getting blown up by is it Iron Cross? Some sort of a bad German superhero. So that filled in a little bit that the book didn't have. But the second book was excellent. I really liked it. Looking forward to the third book. It's just taken way too long. It's your support that's made us possible for bringing us this amazing story to life. Don't miss out on the chance to own your copy before the print run is finalized. Get yours today, people. Be part of the Lonestar Ho legacy. So there you are. There is Mike doing not one but two books, including Top Grift and also I think Top. Was it Top CG? Let me take a look here at the article here. Was it Top? Something CG. I forget the name of it. Something CG. Let me find it here. Good artwork. I like the artwork here. It's fine. That's skirt is way too short for a workplace environment. And the shirt is a little too open as well. Somebody better talk to HR. Yeah, the Top CG. I'm not really sure. Like I see Roe and is that Tim Lim with the bunny there? I'm not sure who. I'm guessing War Campaign. I'm not sure who, like the fellow there is with the late books. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Anyways, it looks like a little swipe at CG there. But I don't know anything about the book, so I don't know who any of these Boss Dinosaur. I don't know who these people are supposed to be. So couldn't tell. Will you be checking out Top Grift or Top CG? I'll make mention of it, but no, I'm not going to give JDA. Beer is going to go talk to little Timmy and let him know. Gosh darn it. No craziness. Let's see. I don't know who he is and not curious. I'm assuming Roe and the sort of a lot of the CG folks. So what War Campaign was kind of an issue in CG was, how do I explain it? Uncle E used them as sort of a Twitter/email filter that got kind of way out of hand and was kind of bashing just normal people in the chat, normal artists out there. Mike and Edwin Boyette got into kind of a big hubbub with them and left CG and went off and did their own thing and yada yada yada. War Campaign were out their welcome and were summarily left and booted, and gosh, people weren't even saying hail for a while. I guess hail came back, but anyways, I don't know much about Tim Lim. Beer got his the Trump Space Force. That was it. That was very early CG. And I don't know any about. I'm assuming you're talking about the fellow with the late books here. I'm not curious either. I don't know why he has sagging boobs. I need to get off of that. But there you go. There is that. Didn't want to get too much into it. John F. Trent, bounding into comics. Yada, 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 people. So there you are. There is that. They're launching the campaign. They went through Kickstarter. Oh, and it was banned from Indiegogo. I didn't realize. I thought it was another site out there. But Indiegogo, not sure if it was banned or if it was shadow banned. But Indiegogo is shadow banning a lot of people. So if you do enjoy some of the books, Beer tries. I can't do every book. Beer is not like the awesome moderator out there, Eric Huffles. I don't have literally everybody's book listed here, but if you do go into the description, Beer does try to link those. I've since moved the Indiegogo down the list. It used to be a prominent top spot. Got way behind. It's behind the Fund by Comic, and also I would recommend people just start to look into artist web pages as well, or maybe kind of a collective out there that can do that. If you don't want to go through Fund My Comic, but I would definitely, Bear has recommended and will recommend Fund My Comic over Indiegogo these days because, gosh dang it, he was trying to look up Malin the other day, couldn't find anything. Trying to look up Rambo the other day, that's no go. Gosh, there was something else Bear was trying to look up. Good luck. You gotta go find the actual link. So that's why Beer tries to link it in the description. Let's see. Arlene says, I like Edwin. I have let me share a very brief story about Edwin. He does some silly stuff sometimes, but Beer always remembers Edwin because when Bear first started the YouTube and was very naive, very wet behind the ears. I remember going into, I don't recall if it was the Aloha Hour or one of Mike's streams there, when it was, sorry, Mike, when it was a lot more popular than it is now. I mean, he was having 50, 100 viewers in there. And I just made a simple comment or joke or something like that. And Edwin was one of the very first people that read Bear's comment aloud. Bear's reading Arlene's and everybody else is like, it's no big deal. But at the time, Bear was like, oh, wow. I got mentioned on YouTube. Wow, what a big thing. So I'll always remember Edwin and always thank him for that, even though I might not agree with him on everything 100% of the time out there. Let's see. Arlene says, I like Edwin, but I have always just kind of tuned out when they start talking about all that comics drama stuff. Yeah, a lot of that stuff's behind us now. Bear is probably one of the few people that tries to tell Mike, tries to tell even Uncle Lee, hey, put behind your differences. It's better to agree to disagree with people you disagree with rather than, we're not trying to get rid of everybody. We need allies where we can find them here in the battle of the culture wars here. We can't just get rid of everybody. War campaign, I understand. There's a whole situation behind that. But Mike was trying to essentially... war campaign was kind of going against Mike and what he was doing, and he was trying to go against a little bit of war campaign. There was a lot of backers from Uncle E that were with war campaign, so Uncle E decided to go with his backers instead of with Mike, and that was kind of the whole split. There's no war campaign anymore, so at least within CG. So if Mike wants to come back, please, by all means, there's going to be plenty of people in the chats with Malin or Uncle Lee out there that's going to roast Mike for sure. But I think it would be more welcoming if he just said, hey, we had some bad blood. I'm sorry about the things. Let's move on from that and go from there. I think too often the Comic-Gate folks use Mike as a punching bag, and it's a little unfair. I think it's a little unfair for Mike. I think him and Edwin were right at a certain point there within the sort of battle there with War Campaign, but they took it a little too far and a little too personal. And a lot of times you just got to let stuff roll off your back and not be too uptight with it. Too uptight. So there we go. There is all that. I didn't mean to leave it on this. Just trying to make mention of what was going on with everything and everywhere. All right, let's see. Where am I? Thing with a thing. There we go. There we are. Get rid of that. So, anyways, a very, very wide-ranging show here. I mean, everything from AI and actors to sports ball to very interesting Comics-Gate and Comics-Gate adjacent personalities out there. So quite a wide-ranging show for you good people. So kind of an update. Bear is not sure whether or not he's going to be able to do a Wednesday show coming up on Thanksgiving the next day. Really, really hope to be able to do one on Wednesday. I would love to be able to do one. Trying to work out the schedule. That might be the determining factor there. But Bear has every intent to do one. If not, Bear will leave a little comment out there letting people know one way or the other whether or not Bear is going to be here on Wednesday. But we try to do these shows every Wednesday, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time for you good people out there. So I don't think I need to go through that many people here. I want to thank Arlene, and of course Arlene. We can't forget about Arlene. But let's thank Arlene, and also P Money, who's doing some great work out there at a hockey game. Out there. I'm sorry if you were a Oilers fan, P Money. Gotta get the W for the old Bolts out here, though. The old W beer. And a full tummy. Full tummy. Anyways, Arlene, thank you so much for hanging out with Beer, keeping him company, and even if some of the topics were, a little bit out of the wheelhouse there, I do appreciate you stopping by and keeping him company here, keeping him company on a very Thanksgiving coming up weekend here. So yes, I hope you have a blessed night as well, and a blessed week. A thankful week out there. Thankful week. We're all thankful this week. And a full tummy as well. All right, people. Well, you know what? All this talk about full tummies is making Bear hungry. So he's going to head back into the woods. So until next time, people, grrr.